with our chapter 2. Good afternoon, students. So, as we had completed in the last lecture, that is 3D graphic module, we'll be seeing the terms of that 3D modules. First one is rasterization, the task of taking a two-dimensional image described in a vector format and converting it into pixels or dots for output on a video display or printer. So, converting from a 2D module to pixels or dots from a vector image, or we can say a module to a image, is called as a rasterization process. A tessellation or tiling of the plane is a collection of plane figures that fill the plane with no overlaps and no gaps. So combination of, or cluster we can say, of a plane collection of objects is called as tessellation. A shader is a program used to determine the final surface properties of an object or image. The final property of surface, it's a curved surface, is a flat surface, or it's a shiny surface. All those things are dependent on the shader. Then it's a program. Then programmable pipelining. What does programmable pipelining do? One of the most important features in DirectX graphics in the addition of programmable pipeline. So it provides an assembly language, provides a language interface to the transformation and lightning hardware, that is vertex shader, and pixel pipeline, that is pixel shader. This programmable pipeline gives the developer a lot more freedom to do things which have never been seen in real-time applications. So programmable pipelining gives a developer a freedom of developing with no real-time applications, which real-time applications have not done yet. The shader code is loaded into the graphics card memory and plugged directly into the graphic pipeline. So shader code is directly loaded onto the graphic card memory and plugged directly into the graphic pipeline. Shader code is an assembly language. However, nowadays there are a number of higher level C type languages for developing or compiling and making them assemble for use of much easier programs. Microsoft have HLSL, that is high level shading language, which we heard prior, for the use of DirectX, and OpenGL has the GLSL, that is OpenGL shading language. Then programmable pipeline, when you push vertices through the pipeline, they need to be transformed and lit. That is, this processing stage is known as T and L, transformation and lit. Hardware vertex processing means this is done in hardware, and if hardware supports it. Software vertex processing is done in software. The general practice is to try creating an hardware T and L device. If that fails, try mixed, and if that fails, try software. If software fails, give up and exit with an error. So such things, if do not work properly, then that time it gives you an error. So DirectX gives multimedia applications greater access to advanced features of high performance hardware such as 3D graphics, acceleration chips, and sound cards. So nowadays also 3D graphics is in the market, as well as acceleration chips. Now just with the help of one chip you can change the graphic formations. It controls 2D graphic acceleration. Acceleration is changing the 2D graphic formats, and supports input devices like joysticks, joypads, keyboards, mice. Then controls sound mixing, sound output on vast range of audio hardware, control networking. These are the features of in which they are used, that is multimedia streaming formats, everything. Now OpenGL, when we talk about, is a graphics library on defining cross language platform API for writing applications that produce 3D computer graphics. In that 2D also is combined. The interface consists of 250 different functions. So the OpenGL has so OpenGL is an alternative for DirectX now, and it has 250 different functions calling to draw complete three-dimensional scenes for simple primitives. So for simple development they have 250 different functions. OpenGL specifications is overseen by the OpenGL Architecture Review Board, which was formed in 1992. The ARB consists of set of companies of vested interest in creating a consistent and widely available API. For creating a widely available global API, they are working and they have a different set of companies for this. Now OpenGL is platform independent, that is whichever platform you have, they are interdependent on it, supported on Windows, it is supported on Mac, it is supported on Linux and several other Unix variants, that is it is available on nowadays Hike operating systems. Then Direct3D is only available on Windows. OpenGL is function oriented interface. Function oriented means function calling and then output. Direct3D is object oriented, object dependent value is being given to it. Then Direct3D updated very frequently and supports latest card features, that is Microsoft, whereas OpenGL takes time to reach to new standards, and it has open standard and a community product, Silicon Graphics. It works on Silicon Graphics and community products. Performance is equal performance. Direct3D and OpenGL are alternatives, so that is the reason their performance is equal. So where do I start? Like if you are worried about which one to learn, which is the pros and cons. So apart from Direct3D, all the DirectX components can be used alongside OpenGL. So both can be preferred. If you want to use direct input for joystick input and OpenGL for your graphics, that's fine. Means totally you can go for any function which you want. So the games which are developed are Battlefield in DirectX 7 Foundation. Then you have DirectX Shader, that is Unreal Tournament 2003. Then you have Far Cry, can be considered the first game that makes consistent use of shaders, and that is because of DirectX 9 version, where the surfaces are realistic and changes of lighting is being done. So with this we are ending up with our chapter 2, that is DirectX. Topic 1, transformation, again is a different topic here. So if you have any doubts regarding the topic, you can ask in the group. Thank you.